Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing episode 7 from season 3 of Sex and the City. And this is the episode where Carrie and Aiden become more serious. Steve leaves a nasty surprise in his underwear for Miranda to wash, and Charlotte's desperation chasing down this couple to match her up with this man who she hasn't met yet. So let's get into it. So the episode opens up with Carrie having night terrors. Of course, she doesn't know why she's having them, but I believe it's because she may have been getting serious with Aiden. She still had a part of her heart with Big that wasn't ready to let go. Carrie believed it was because everything was going good, and I think sometimes people who are always in the throes of chaos feel like something is going to go wrong and that the person is going to flip the switch. But with Carrie, she liked going towards chaos rather than getting as far away from it as possible. As I said before, we don't get much about her upbringing, how she was raised, or the trauma she went through, and the Carrie Diary series conflicts with what Carrie tells us in Sex and the City. So she has lunch with the girls and tells them about her fears, and they tell her it's normal.
Effortless. It's freaking me out.
I totally understand. You're not getting the stomach flip, which is really just a fear of losing the guy.
And I agree to a certain extent because it's normal to have fears or doubts, but it's not normal for every single woman. Every woman doesn't go through this kind of fear like Carrie does, or want toxicity, chaos, or disruption, nor have they ever experienced that. It depends on your upbringing, what you've been subjected to, and how you value yourself. Miranda tells her being with a man who is safe and predictable is something Carrie should not be worrying about and actually lean into, which I agree. Because Carrie, why do you love Dysfunction so much?
I don't know, she's just not normal.
But when she starts talking about it in regard to Steve,
My favorite thing to do on a Saturday night is Steve's laundry, and I have never been happier.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
I throw up in my mouth a little bit, especially when she talks about washing his damn clothes. What does this man do that he can't wash his own clothes? You're a busy lawyer, and he is not even your husband. Samantha tells her that's her greatest fear.
Your relationship is my greatest fear realized.
And I just cackled. Samantha is funny without even trying. The way Kim delivers her lines, she was born to play this role. Charlotte tells them they're dysfunctional single women, and Miss Charlotte, girl, you need to include yourself in that too. Because you yourself, you may not be Carrie, but you're a little dysfunctional, my dear. Now, Charlotte had a point because she wanted to be married, and the girls didn't really care for those things, but Charlotte was desperate, and she may not have been Carrie, like I said before, but she definitely had her issues, and just because you want marriage or are married doesn't mean you somehow get rid of your friends and talk down to them. Love my girl down, but she had a few issues. Okay, I'm skipping the scenes with Miranda going home to Steve because I don't like him.
And
no, but in all seriousness, there isn't really much but them having dinner and playing house. Samantha is seeing a doctor who takes Viagra recreationally. Now I may not be a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that will have effects in the long run from taking pills that you don't actually need, sir. I don't know where Samantha finds these men, child. Carrie asks Aiden why he's still single.
Why are you still single?
Why are you still single?
No, don't do that. Don't be cute. I hate when guys act all cute.
And I hate how he has her walking on the outside of him. What is this, honey? You're supposed to know better than that. You make sure your woman is walking on the inside. Aiden tells Carrie his parents are coming to town and he would like her to meet them.
My folks are coming to town this weekend and I wanted you to meet them.
Now, I think it was way too early to be meeting parents. They were only dating for 3 weeks. That's not nearly enough time to introduce your girlfriend, boyfriend to your parents. Charlotte is meeting with her married friends and they tell her they have a guy for her to meet named Phil, and she's ecstatic.
Yeah, Phil. I mean, if he can tear himself away from his internet company long enough to go out on a date.
Yes. Phil.
Don't get too excited now, Charlotte. The following scene, Miranda is preparing to wash Steve's clothes, and this man, y'all, this scene pisses me off so bad. Because how do you, as a grown-ass man, even feel comfortable putting your underwear with Nutter Butter spread in them out for your girlfriend to wash?
Miranda came face to face with the true meaning of intimacy.
Oh my God! What is that?
Do you have no embarrassment? Did your ass not itch from having that smear of caca in them?
Yeah!
Steve was a nasty troglodyte. I would have been turned off the moment I saw that 30-plus-year-old man is not wiping his behind correctly. And Miranda, the fact that you could stay with this man.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
She tells Carrie, and they discuss how men just have no common decency when it comes to hygiene or when they live with women, like peeing on the seat.
Why do men get skid marks? Is it laziness? Or are they just in a rush?
I don't know, but whatever it is, it goes hand in hand with urinating on the seat.
And the fact that some men don't like being corrected or even try to change this behavior is so infuriating because it's inconsiderate and you believe that it should just be accepted, you nasty little thing. They converse about where they are in their relationships. Carrie tells Miranda that Aiden wants her to meet his parents and how the roles have switched and she's behaving more like Big. And while Carrie gets on my everlasting nerve, I do believe it was entirely too early to meet his parents, and the fact that it didn't make her understand where Big was coming from, but instead she still makes it seem as though Big had no reason to not introduce her to his parents. It was literally the same thing. You guys were not dating for that long. When the simple fact was, not only was it entirely too early, and her pushing him and showing up to where he was with his mother was desperate, and she was pushing his boundaries. So we have Charlotte continuously calling the couple who is supposed to hook her up with her quote-unquote future husband. Charlotte, you really have to stop. It gets to a point.
Can you tell Dennis that Charlotte York called? Yes, he'll know what it's regarding. It's regarding my future husband, Phil.
The following scene, Carrie is clearly anxious about meeting Aiden's parents. Sidebar. I love this look Carrie has so much. I always loved when she wore her curly hair and her messy bun. It's not some over-the-top look, but it's just something about when Carrie would put a look together with jeans. It always looked good, and I'm still obsessed with the pink sequin Fendi baguette. She tells Aiden that she has a work deadline and won't be able to do dinner. Carrie asks if Aiden is sure about her meeting his parents, and I agree with her that meeting parents are a big deal and shouldn't just be this casual thing. But then she tells Aiden he needs to make himself less available.
You're so available to me, and I'm so available to you. Maybe we're both just too, available.
And she irritates me here because this is something an extremely young and immature person would say. Am I saying you want to be with the person you're in a relationship with 24/7? No, absolutely not, because give me my space and you'll get tired of one another and you need to have your own things going on. But you would think after her experience with Big, she would want someone who was genuinely into her and not playing games. But like I said, Carrie thrived on dysfunction, and it's why she needed therapy for more than just 2 sessions. Carrie attends the opera with Charlotte, and yet again, she is calling Dennis, telling them she expected to be going to the opera with him. Girl, are you okay? Like, are you okay? How are you expecting to go to the opera with this man you don't even know and have never met? What if he wasn't anything you expected? Her desperation irritated me so bad this season. Charlotte was doing the absolute most. Then her telling Carrie she only invited her because she had plans on going to the opera with a man she never met was just rude as hell. Who says that to their friend? Not only that, but it is highly disrespectful to constantly call another woman's husband demanding he set you up with this random man. That was completely out of line. But her and Carrie looked so good. I will say, I loved Carrie's beaded dress so much. I didn't really find it to be appropriate for the opera, but still a look nonetheless. Charlotte finally gets in contact with Dennis, and Dennis tells Charlotte he'll set the date up for her to meet Phil. Okay.
Set something up tomorrow evening, 7:30. You know Rudy's Midtown?
I love that place.
Well, Phil will meet you there. I guarantee it.
Samantha is back at her place with the doctor and his damn pills and decides she should try one, and she has a time. Nothing much to really discuss, especially since I can't insert the scenes or talk much about the scenes on YouTube, but I really wanted to hear her opinion on Steve and his disgusting, nasty, filthy underwears. I know Samantha would have had some choice words. Anyway, Carrie sees Big and Natasha at the opera and gets out of there quickly and swiftly. Left Charlotte all by herself in that place. She was just gone. And Big goes running after her when he sees her. This man always annoys me. You're at the opera with your wife and you get your behind up to go chasing after your ex-girlfriend. What are you doing? Carrie calls Miranda and tells her she saw Big. Now, Carrie, this could have waited until the next day. Why would you call your friend who's a lawyer up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Just beyond inconsiderate. I would have cursed her clean out. Because why are you calling me at this time of night for something that isn't even serious? Later on, Carrie calls Aiden, and when he doesn't answer, she starts overthinking. Carrie.
It's Carrie calling for Aiden. He's not here right now. Oh, he's not? Well, just tell him I called. Hey, it's Carrie. Remember me, the girl you wanted to introduce to your parents?
Miranda is still washing Steve's clothes and can't even look at his underwears because she's afraid of what she might find. Why are you still washing his clothes, Miranda? And he's right in the house. Like, I am not understanding how you're washing his clothes with a man who's fully able to wash his own clothes in the house. He's not some extremely busy man. Like, I'm not understanding this. And how can you even get turned on by a man who has these things in his underwear? Steve coming in the laundry room and her having sex with him again. Yuck. This is definitely a self-esteem issue that Miranda had, because there's just no way. The following scene, our girl Charlotte shows up at the bar Dennis told her Phil would be at, and guess who appears? Mr. Dennis the Menace himself.
You can't be in love with me. You're married to my friend.
Yeah, things haven't been going so great with us lately, and ever since I saw you that night at dinner, I couldn't stop thinking about you.
Talking about how he might be in love with her. What in the hell?
You seem a little psycho to me.
This man is a scumbag, and what makes it worse is that he plotted to get Charlotte out to that bar alone. That is scary as hell. And men wonder why women don't trust them or feel fair when it comes to them. Things like this are exactly why. Like, how unhinged could you possibly be? You're a married man and you actually thought in your bobble-headed mind that Charlotte would agree to being with you? Regardless of how desperate Charlotte may have presented herself over a guy she had never even met, this right here was downright creepazoid behavior. I'm sorry. And him, Sir Dennis, you need your ass beat. Charlotte smacked the taste out of his mouth and got out of there with the quickness, as she should have, because this, like I said before, is scary. I know it's a scene that we're watching in a show, but it's supposed to be a little lighthearted and funny. However, this is actually terrifying, because imagine you think you're going to meet a guy that your friend is setting you up with, and it turns out to be your friend's husband. It's just predatory as hell. She's clearly telling this man he's disgusting, and he still doesn't know how to take no for an answer. Like, he's literally following her out of the bar.
I'm not interested in starting some married man's car.
Wait, no, wait, don't leave, no, please, I love you.
Charlotte runs out and he's screaming, I love you. Meanwhile, when she falls in the street, he's nowhere to be found. I thought you loved her, but you just watched her fall down in the middle of the street. Is it because you thought something may have happened to her, and if the ambulance came, your wife would also know that you were there and she would figure out you were the one trying to meet Charlotte? Is that why you got out of there so quickly? Just a typical demon. And that's when she meets Trey. Also, sidebar, I don't know if it's just me, but Charlotte favors Britney Spears so much. I've always thought that they could honestly be sisters. I also loved Charlotte's Prada lipstick skirt in this scene. She always looked good. Anyway, the episode wraps up with Carrie popping up to breakfast where Aiden and his parents are. Carrie really thrived on dysfunction, and it's exactly why she needed to get therapy and stick it out. People like her get with someone who is good to them and treats them well, then they bleed their toxicity onto that person. They end up changing that person, making them question themselves and lose some of their self-worth and some of their self-esteem and everything, because they themselves are unsure and insecure with themselves, so they project that onto others. It irritated the hell out of me that she had the audacity to question why he wasn't calling her when she specifically told him to be less available. You cannot have it both ways. It's extremely dysfunctional, yet when Big did that to you, you couldn't handle it. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Big, he would tell her what it was, and she'd still draw up fantasies in her own mind because that's what Carrie did. She would have everything laid out right in front of her and still refuse to take it seriously when it came to Big. Like I said before, I understand her being nervous about meeting the parents and things moving too quickly, especially after her getting out of her relationship with Big, and I do believe it was too fast. But then popping up like she did, the same way she did with Big at that church, is when it goes from reasonable to toxic yet again. She could never make up her mind. It was always something. And with people like that, you cannot be in a relationship with them because it will always be something. It's one thing to have disagreements in a relationship, but with Carrie, she just had to have like dysfunction and arguments, and she needed all of these things to be going on. And that's not someone that you need to be in a relationship with because it's not healthy. She ends up meeting his parents and the episode is done. Now, if I were Aiden, I would have told her to go back home. Honestly, you made meeting my parents this huge issue, and then I turn around and you're suddenly there like something out of a thriller movie, stalking me while I'm with them. And Aiden is to blame too because he ignored a lot of red flags when it came to Carrie and just carried on. He ignored major red flags with her. In the same way women ignore red flags in men, men ignore red flags in women. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next one.